Jessica, that's right. The grand jury indicted one officer for wanton endangerment. That basically means that the officer recklessly fired his weapon. But to be clear here, none of the officers involved in this fatal shooting were charged for the killing of Miss Taylor.
This is a tragedy, and sometimes the criminal law is not adequate to respond to a tragedy. And I fully acknowledge that.
None of the three officers involved in the fatal shooting of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor will be indicted for her killing. Moments after the Kentucky Attorney General released the grand jury report, some Kentucky residents went onto the streets to show their disappointment. Grand jurors only indicted former police officer Brett Hankinson for wanton endangerment, meaning the grand jury felt Hankinson mindlessly fired his gun into Taylor's home, with bullets entering an adjacent apartment where a family of three were present. Local community leaders in Bakersfield reacting to the news.
It's outrageous to think that it was reckless for him to shoot into the house and endanger her neighbors, but it doesn't affect her.
We should never expect this. No, we expected justice to be served in a way that would protect us and our children. So absolutely, we are surprised.
The community leaders also taking issue with the AG not releasing the racial and gender makeup of the grand jurors.
What rule or standard prevents you from releasing the racial and gender makeup of the grand jury?
You know, the fact that this has received so much scrutiny, I think it'd be inappropriate for me to share the information.
She Power Ambassador Arlena Waller believes the AG needed to be more transparent.
You can't even reveal their gender, their race, their sex. This was a complete, show.
If that grand jury had a representation of people of color, they would have been glad to announce that.
If he couldn't release the information, 9 times out of 10, it's because the information would have really sent the community into an uproar.
And Officer Hankinson was fired from his department back in June. Meantime, 6 other officers involved in this incident are under an internal investigation with their department. Community members here told me that, look, they understand that the community may be fired up about this. As we've seen protests happening already in other states, they say that if there's any residents here that are going to protest, they want their voices to be heard, but they also want them to keep it peaceful. For now, we're live in downtown. Bayan Wang, 23 ABC, connecting you.